How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to the Algol Star System, and let's play Phantasy Star 2. So, last episode, we arrived where we stand right now. The Esper Mansion, where we met Lutz, formerly known as Noah in the original Phantasy Star, still alive 1,000 years later. It's been revealed that Rolf is the last descendant of Alice, and he has been given the Aeroprism, which will allow him to see 4 dungeons hidden on the surface of Dezoris, tasked with collecting the 8 pieces of gear, which will be necessary to defeat Mother Brain. So, first, we're going to go ahead and Ryuka back to Akba, where we will rest and save. And we will from there head forward to the first of the 4 dungeons, Menobe. As you can see, experience requirements are getting pretty up there for leveling up. We are definitely closing in on the end, though. We have these 4 dungeons. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Whoops. That was a mistake. I pressed B a moment too soon. Okay! But after these 4 dungeons and retrieving the 4 pieces of equipment, we will be ready. Why is Amy on defend? From here. To proceed to the final dungeon. So there are only 5 dungeons remaining to us. Now, these last 4 dungeons are all fairly large and have fairly long paths getting to each item. There's 2 located in each dungeon. Now, I have done one thing off video, as you probably already noticed. Rudo is using a different gun. I went ahead and upgraded him to the Pulse Vulcan. It's a weapon that I sometimes go for, and I sometimes don't. Here is Menobe. The reason I don't always go for the Pulse Vulcan is it's better than the laser cannon against a single target. It does about 69 to 72 damage, it seems like. However, against multiple targets, that damage is spread out. So, if there's 2 targets, he'll do about 35 damage to each. But in the end, I decided it was a better way to go. So, these dungeons have the hardest enemies we've faced to date. Menobe is a fairly massive 4-story structure, and we will have to weave between all of the stories in order to retrieve the 2 items that are located. What I will likely do, since Menobe is so close to Akba, is I will collect the first piece of gear, and then I will return to Akba, save, and come back to Menobe to pick up the second piece of gear. Just because the enemies here are so powerful, we will definitely be needing to have Amy using up a decent bit of her TP, keeping the party health high. As you can see, Rolf and Rudo each already down about 60 hit points. We've not faced all that many encounters. Even with the best equipment available in the game, these enemies can still do some, well, available to this point in the game. these enemies are still able to do some fairly massive damage. As is noticeable with the Elitusk here, doing about 40 damage to Amy in one shot. Fortunately, Amy's just a quick G-Res and she's back to full health. The first path is actually, I want to say, decently straightforward. The second path is very twisting. Menobe is a kind of half-circle shaped dungeon. Like I said, there's 4 floors, and you weave through mazes of statues more than walls. Level up Faruto. We knew he was getting pretty close. That takes us up to the 2nd floor. Okay, this is where we have to start being careful. There are 3 of these shade-type enemies in here. These, which are called Dark Sides, there is Shadows, and then there is Mr. Death. All of them are deadly. One down, 2 down. Nope, not. Now 2 down. No! And as you can see, they can take some damage. Take out these sack-offs. And it'll definitely be healing time after this battle. Good experience for that fight, though. We definitely want to make sure we keep our health up. Because if we let ourselves get too low, there are enemies that can dismantle us at low health fairly quickly. I don't think I want to leave Rudo at 127. Let's get him back over 200 hit points. We'll go ahead and grab this chest here. Gives us a color scarf. A illusionist and a glow sword. The glow sword, if I remember correctly, is actually a fairly rare encounter in here. Ow! And I would say that's a good thing. Holy crap! Oh my god, please die before you can attack again. Please die before you can attack again. Yeah, let's hope that's as rare of an encounter as I remember it being. That frickin' hurt. We've already burned through about half of Amy's TP, which is not a good thing. Up on the roof now, weaving through the trees on the roof. These little gardens. Which I personally thought was kind of a neat little touch. Thank God this is the quicker one to get to, because we're not faring so well here. And we have the Nay Crown. Let's get out of here. Okay, back in Akba. Let's heal. Let's save. And we will go in and attempt to retrieve the 2nd piece of Nay gear. I'm only saving because we do not want to go through this place any more than we have to. that same thing goes for pretty much any one of these 4 dungeons. They are all particularly nasty. In fact, after the second one, I may well take some time to just do some level grinding. By the end, we're going to need to be in about the mid-30s. This is our final party. This is the party we will use the rest of the game. Cain and Hugh are useful, but there's techniques specializing either on mechanical or on biological at this point in the game makes them kind of limited. 3 Orangus and a wrestler, this shouldn't be too bad. Simply because there's going to be the enemies that, you know, there's going to be battles where their skills are just going to be useful, and they just don't have the damage capacity outside of that to really be of huge use. Sheer, just in general, isn't useful very much. Her abilities aren't all that great. The only real useful thing about her, and I never did end up doing it, is if you level her up enough and go into the control center, you can get an item called the Visiphone. She can steal it from shops. She can steal from all shops, and the higher level she is, the better gear she can steal from said shops. The Visiphone can be a very useful item in that it lets you save anywhere. You can understand why that would be handy. But, honestly, I just haven't wanted to take the time to level Sheer up high enough to get it. I mean, she can technically get it as of level 10, which is what level she is now. And admittedly, new technique for Rolf and new technique for Amy. Let's see what... Did she get... Ooh, Rever. I wish you could use that in combat, but... Rever will at least make it, the 1 or 2 situations in here where I've had to go through the last part of a dungeon with a party member down. Oh boy, this is dangerous. 3 dark sides. I'm going to need to pay attention here because if they focus their attacks on one guy, we may need to break out a heal. And they often do focus on one target. Yep, there they go. Let's get Narez out for Rolf. They don't take anything special as far as damage goes, but damned if they can't dish it out. Got through that. Let's give Amy, have her give herself a Girez. That is not a good sign, though, that we've already had to use 2 heals and we're not even a third of the way through this path. The path to the second piece of Nay equipment here in Menobe is a significantly longer path than the path to the first. Now we've got to be careful here because it is possible to walk off of the edge of the building. Here's Mr. Death. Again, he doesn't have anything special in terms of damage resistance. You just saw right there, 42 damage to Rolf in 1 shot. Shoot, Amy's got her knife out. That's not supposed to be out. Gotta re-equip the storm gear here. Another Mr. Death. Amy, item, next, storm gear. It is really an interesting RPG, though. As I've mentioned before, it's always been intriguing to me how few actual boss encounters there are in this game. You know, you remember there were plenty of boss fights in the original Phantasy Star. Oh, here's a nasty fight again. 2 dark sides, 2 sack-offs. I do not like this fight. Let's maybe use a Gigra. Just that once. A little extra damage. Okay, they're spreading their attacks out, it seems. Rudo poisoned. Okay, order Rolf. Yeah, you're just gonna go back to physical attack. Order Amy. Can't. No, just attack. Just get through this. We can heal Rudo when we get out of here. There's the dark sides down. It's worth some experience for that battle, though. And I'd say he also needs a Nares. An image an Imagiom and a MX Dragon. I'm quite certain the Dragon is going to be a nasty piece of work. Yeah, about 50 damage in one shot. One thing I have always really liked about the Phantasy Star games is how they kind of keep health and stats under control. You know, for example, in this game, Rudo having 238 HP is just a massive amount of HP. Okay, we gotta interrupt here. You know, compared to other games where you see characters getting, you know, almost 10,000 HP. Which I've always just kind of seen as unnecessary. Can't remember, does Anna have? No, I didn't think so. Gotta use another Nares. I hope our TP can hold up long enough, because we're only about halfway there. We might have to withdraw and attempt this a second time. It's the other thing that's always been interesting to me. There are items that it can recover your TP, but they are extremely rare. In a Magiom and a Dark Side. Anna going to need a heal after this. Probably let... Gonna save Amy's TP now for a couple more Nareses. Oh, shoot, she's not using the Storm Fear. Not Silk Crown. I mean, it has an effect too, but it's not offensive. Oh, that missing just guaranteed this thing gets to attack. Attacking Rudo again. I tell you one other thing we're going to have to do next episode is we are going to have to get in and start cleaning out our inventory and using some of that money that we have to stock up on Trimates, so we are not just depleting Amy's TP in order to heal. And a Mega Omega and a Dark Side again. Getting close. We just basically wrap around this middle partition again. Head up a stair. Well, down a stair. And we will be at the second piece of Nay equipment. Almost there. Crap. You know, it's not the strongest of spells, but actually, powerful than a Sword Strike, and of course she misses both of her attacks, making the fact that I use that completely wasted. It might have been a mistake using that. Or Amy, Nares, Rolf. Frick. Nope. There we go. Thank God I put up that band. I didn't screw up. That saves our butt there. I would even go so far as to say the only reason we're not having to use a Rever, which actually we might not be able to at this point, she might not have enough MP, is because I cast that deband there. And you know, I don't want you guys to think I'm like in here under-leveled. I'm about where you should be. And there is the name it. Let us get out of here. Oh, wrong spell. Penis. Ryuka. And we are done with Menobe. So, next episode... Now, first let's go ahead and do this. Item, Rolf. We gotta get some stuff out of his gear really quick. Give to Amy. Amy can't carry anymore. Anna can't carry anymore. Rolf gives boots to Rudo. Item, Rudo. I think the Namet goes to Rolf, if I remember right. Yep. And defense goes to 258. And then finally, go back to item. Anna, let's give boots to Rudo to free up that spot for her. And I believe she gets the crown. Item, Rudo, may crown, give Anna. Equip Anna. Nay crown. Anna can't take Nay crown. Maybe it goes to Amy. Item, Amy, scalpel, give, not Rolf, Rudo. Item, Anna, Nay Crown, give Amy. Equip Amy, Nay Crown, there we go. Defense goes to 231. So we have the first 2 pieces of Nay equipment equipped. Let's go ahead and save, and we will wrap this one up. Oop! Almost forgot. Still need to wear the Magic cap. So yes, we will go ahead and wrap this episode up here. I want to thank everybody for watching. Please like, subscribe, favorite, throw any feedback you might have into the comments below, and we will see you next time as we return to the Algol star system, to where we will head for the second of the 4 dungeons and the next 2 pieces of Nay gear. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you again next time.